Welcome to Table Mannerz Podcast.
Table Mannerz.
Create your own lane with your host, Emmett Combs and Tremaine Wright.
Us against the world, let's get it.
As they share conversations about real estate,
Invest in things that you understand.
life,
I had to believe in myself like never before.
passion,
Make something you 100% love.
and career with influential people in our community. This is Table Mannerz Podcast.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, Garen and Shanti Hoffman, all the way from LA. And tell me about it. Give me some background about, what brings you guys here to Orlando for one, and how we get here at this table.
Okay, so this is Shanti Hoffman. Hello.
Hello.
So we originally came on the 24th of December, so it's almost been a month now. Almost been a month. And we came for Christmas with my family. They live in Orlando, and it was also my mother's birthday, so we wanted to spend some time here. We were supposed to head back before New Year's Eve, but we ended up staying longer and decided that we'll just stay the extra couple weeks because we have a workshop coming up, Intro to Dump Truck Business.
Oh, so a workshop. Okay, so it's intro to dump truck.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So
Would you
tell me about
expect,
it.
do we look like dump truck owners?
Absolutely not.
What? You don't see my bald head? I'm definitely trucking.
When somebody because I have friends, right? They drive trucks. I have friends in Atlanta who, they own their own trucks or whatnot. They moved up the ranks, purchased their own truck. But, there's a dump truck look, right?
Yeah.
A person that drives trucks, there's a certain look to it that you
Grungy.
expect. Yeah,
Dirty, with a Bluetooth hanging in the ear.
Exactly. Look, not even
No
the newer
disrespect, but
Bluetooth. The headset Bluetooth, the one that clip over your ear, the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you think of when you think of a truck driver. I mean, it is what it is.
Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes but hold up. So let me rewind. Sometimes some of the actual places where you will be working will require you to dress a certain way. Not to say that you have to look grungy and a little off the edge, but you have to kind of go by their standards, which is long sleeve shirt, long pants, boots. So that does play a part, but you could have some fly about it at the same token. You ain't got to just be hanging off the edge. You know what I mean?
So the big question I have is, how did you guys get into trucking? What attracted you to trucking?
Man, about 15 years ago, I'm a longshoreman, so I work on the ports of Los Angeles, Long Beach, and Wilmington. And I started that in 2004, and I started seeing the dire need in the transportation industry and how many trucks were actually on the highway. So I was just like, you know what? There is something in this world that we could be a part of. So I came home to my wife because we were looking for another stream of income as well. So this was our whole plan. We have our child. We needed to figure out something that will benefit him later. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, because the way that we are set up is that we're set up financially for the great for the rest of our life from our parents. So my ideology was for me not to take out of my trust or whatever my parents have left me and blow it on myself, but to take that and give that to my kids while I work hard for my kids' kids.
Awesome.
Make sense?
Yes.
That was my whole ideology at that time. And I talked to my wife and I told her, I'm like, listen, we need to get into the transportation industry. I don't care what avenue we take, but we need to get there. And that's what kind of led us to where we're at right now as far as being in the trucking realm as a whole, because we've touched every different genre of trucking so far. So we're willing to expand at this point too. So look out for something in the future.
Awesome. So how was your response when he came home and said trucking?
I did brush him off at first.
She shunned me.
Well, because before that, we were going to open a nail shop. Before that, we were going to open a restaurant. We just, when you're thinking, you sit down at the big table and you say, what are we going to do? We need to do something else. We have a good savings. Let's invest it, because you know how savings are. You can nickel and dime it to death. Yeah. And then before you know it, it's gone.
It's gone.
So,
mind you, I had her back. All of her endeavors that she came across, I never fought her once.
He supported.
I never told her, no, you can't. It was always, all right. until I had enough. Now continue.
Well, no. So before. So honestly, right before the trucking, I even went to like manicure school, and I was like, okay, because you need to be an owner to open a nail shop. Like, let's do it. Let's do like this luxury type thing, and then we couldn't find like nail techs, and I was like stressing. I was like, forget it. You're gonna go through some business ideas and get even some certificates or some degrees, and to realize, you know what? At least I have it in my back pocket. But at that time, we weren't ready. So when he came with the trucking idea, I knew nothing about trucks. I come from no background of trucks. My family's in the medical business. So I knew nothing. So when he said it, he was like, let's just use our savings and buy the first truck outright. So I was like, that's, it's a pretty steep amount. It was like $120,000.
Yeah. Hold on. So the dump truck.
Well, no. So let's start. We first started with a hot shot truck. That's how we started. So basically, it's like a Dodge Ram 3500, one of those big pickup dualies.
A hot shot truck.
Yeah.
And then we attached a trailer. Yeah, let's rewind.
So how long ago was that when you guys bought your first truck?
2016.
2016. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what led us there, I'm just piggybacking off of what she said about as far as the certifications and the nail salon. This is when I knew it was not going to work out in that industry as far as the nails, was when she started having me sit down and do all of her friends' nails.
Hold on, time out.
Wait, do you know how much I spent on acrylics? And he oh my God, I was
going acrylics.
I love you, babe.
Coffin nails, whatever you want, come to me.
Stilettos. So when that's why I have to say I love my husband, because I was literally at the nail warehouse, but I was like buying all these gel machines.
She
all
was
these
spending a
we
bag.
spent in our closet. We still have $5,000. I could do my own. We can't. I'm not gonna do it. But I'm not. Let me tell you, I'm not really artistic, and I'm not. I can't draw. I'm not that. That's just not my forte. And he's very artistic. He's good with molding, and really the nail, manicurists and women that are males that do nails, that's a hard, now when I sit down and get my nails done, I don't complain about little things because it's hard. Right. And you really have to it's really an art. It's a craft, exactly. So he was over there doing my little mannequin hands for me when I had to bring it back to school. And he's bomb. I used to be like, babe.
Wow.
Effortlessly.
Wow.
So look, when he came to you with the business proposition to get into the trucking industry, how could you say no?
Right.
After he supported.
No, that's why, when we sat down and we put together a business plan, and we're like, you know what? Instead of we're not going to go to the bank and get funded because we already know how that, goes. Just in case we do fail, let's use our savings, and at least we won't have a note. And, worst case scenario, granted, you might lose some money, whatever, in any business, you still.
Absolutely, you have that risk.
Exactly.
But we won't be stressed at the end of the month when the note is due. We won't be stressed about that because we didn't pick up a certain job, or we could, at that time, it just gave us leverage. If it was a load that I just felt I wasn't comfortable taking, guess what?
You wouldn't take it.
I wouldn't take it. It's not going to hurt me next month because my truck is paid for. Everything is paid for. So it gave us leverage, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And it gave us, really and truly, it gave us the power within ourselves to have control over certain things. So now we know how to control certain narratives that we come across in the trucking industry because we have our stuff. Everything we have is outright. We have titles for everything.
Wow.
Now, I'm not going to say that that's a good thing because it caught up to us later on down the line because it kind of slacked off. Well, we didn't slack off, but it stopped us from building our own personal business credit, not personal, but business credit.
Oh,
so that's something that you got to talk about,
We got a call from a contractor, and they wanted 20 trucks, and it was a 3-year project. And granted, we could put 5 trucks. We didn't have in the bank 15 times 150,000, just to pull out and say, here, let me go get 15 more trucks. So when we went to the bank, granted, you have your trucks owned, there's no business
There's
credit
no
built
business
up.
credit there.
So so that
talk
is
about that,
like
yeah.
you think you're smart going, oh, let me just pay it off. The best thing we should have done was maybe put 50,000 down, pay a majority of it off. And then,
Put 50,000 down and put the rest in the bank and just let it automatically deduct itself. That right there would have paid, and we thought about that. But it was just we were so scared and naive that we didn't, we were just using what we were taught as far as from our friends, street mentality.
Yes.
And I should have listened to my parents instead.
So what the parents are saying?
I mean, they had our back definitely, but,
They were saying, yeah.
my father's not here anymore. My father passed in 2009. And I kind of, everything that he has taught me, I still live by that,
Mm-hmm.
But at some point in time, you got to kind of listen to everybody else too and see where they're coming from and see why they chose to go that route. And her parents are like, cash it out.
Yeah, they're old fashioned. My dad's from
know.
India, mom's from Philippines. They came from nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very well off coming from nothing, and they're old fashioned, and they don't want to pay interest. They don't believe in that, and they don't believe they're smart. But I feel like they could have taken it to the next level, if they made little different steps. But
That's so. When it comes to the business credit, I'm a businessman, of course.
Okay.
Like I always preach about how important credit is because this is a credit world. As much cash as we may have, you have more power if you have more credit, right? And so I preach that a lot about, when people are getting started in business, it's important to establish that business credit because you can use your own financing, your own cash and resources as leverage to get more of their money. Let it pay for itself.
Exactly.
So, so this is a perfect example of that. And, I would definitely appreciate your transparency on, far as how you guys got to where you are right now, and then the mistakes you made. Can I elaborate on the mistake part? What other mistakes you guys made during this process that you would say I would do it differently next time?
I'm about to make a mistake next week.
I know.
That's how I correct everything is from all the mistakes that I have. So it's a lot of things. It's like a whole list I can go down as far as mistakes. And I would say the number one mistake would be don't let too many people in your business because that's where a lot of ideas get taken. That's where a lot of greed, jealousy, enviness. It just puts a damper on your whole franchise of what you're trying to do. It kind of takes you back a step. And I mean, everybody has it in the industry, but you just got to kind of be mindful of those types of people. And also, what would you say?
Well, elaborating on that, basically in so many words, don't give anyone else control until you sell the business. Sometimes you think, oh, let me just maybe go into business with somebody with this, or let me outsource, and then you give them control, and then something happens. You're like, oh my gosh, like mistakes. Because at the end of the day, you're the one. It's your face. So if there's a mistake, like a load that's sent to the wrong area, any mistakes, it's our face.
Yes, it's your face.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So before we get too far off topic, tell me more about this workshop coming up this weekend. What like for somebody like me, if I was interested in going, like what would I receive from that workshop? Like what would I expect?
Okay, so first and foremost, I do want to make it clear and be totally transparent that we are not trucking gurus. We are teaching through experience. So we don't know everything. We know a lot, and we're just teaching people our mistakes. Basically, the mistakes we made in the beginning years, even now, we're teaching you how you can save money from making those mistakes. We're guiding you in the way. Let's back up. Dump trucks. When we talk about dump trucks, people think trash usually, right? Garbage.
Yes.
No. So there are dump trucks like that, the ones that pick up your trash. But we have dump trucks which you might see on the I-4 or the airport or on new construction homes, whatever. They're actually for dirt, sand, gravel, and asphalt. Concrete, several things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
when
new construction, development, growth.
Exactly, all that. Whatever you need to dump in there, dump. We'll take trash too, hey, but primarily, yeah. So those are dump trucks. So I'm pretty sure you see them around town, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So do you ever drive by and say, how'd they get into that? They must be making money.
My first thought when I see a dump truck, I think big corporation. right? I think big corporation, a lot of investment into the investment, right? And I'm thinking big contracts. I'm thinking the unions. I'm thinking union. Like those are the things that come to mind. For as I know CDLs. I know that's going to be part of the process. Right. But it just looks bigger than like a small time business or bigger than or individual getting into that business. So I don't even look at it as
you don't
being
think about it.
An option for as going into business doing.
Yeah. So that
You're
that's
110% right about that.
It looks like that. And even
you can make it that as well, though. Like I just had a conversation with her last night, and we were talking about a person had called, and they're inquiring about getting help with 20 trucks, right? And so in my wife's head, she was like, I wonder why, if they have that many trucks, how come they're calling us? We're a little company. But I'm telling her in my head, I'm like, we're really bigger than what we actually think we are. Like, we're just a little humble. But at the end of the day, it can be a bigger situation. Like, just because they have 20 trucks, it doesn't mean that they're any better or any, or we're any, it just, so at the end of the day, it's just like, you can take 5 trucks, you could take 1 truck and make it something bigger. Just like how you said, you feel that they're corporate, union, all those types of ties behind that.
Yes.
You can make it that way. Okay. You don't have to do everything on the small,
large end, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people come to us every day and they're like, hey, we have capital. We want to get 50 trucks. Can we just lease onto your authority? And we're like, no, it's not that we can't get any more trucks, right? We could. We don't want to right now because it's a headache. Like, you have to deal with drivers. You have to deal with if they call off. And he's only one person. He does a CDL. He could jump in one, but what if 3 drivers call off?
So speaking on him in the CDL, so I seen on one of you guys' Instagram that he drove the full first year of when you guys opened the business.
Yes, he was hot shotting.
Wow.
So he was hot shotting. Even now, he still drives every now and then. He wants to get in and, or do like a night shift. And me and Mr. Fudgy, our son, would jump in, drive him crazy. He gets so annoyed. He hates when we come because we're like, we have to pee. We're hungry. This is boring. What time is it? And he's like, oh my God, why did I bring you guys?
Yeah. It's all bad.
That's awesome.
But it's crazy, being that you've taken a trucking business and turned it into like a family business.
Yeah, and that's
very unique.
And that's one of the things that we want to document at our seminars is that we're bringing financial freedom, and we're showing people not something that they have to do, but something that what we've done. And if you guys like what we do, because you guys hit us up all the time, to take heed into what we're about to tell you to how to get there. And that's what this is really based about. I mean, I said in the beginning of this show is that I'm doing stuff for my kids. So it's all based on family.
Family, yes.
I'm not doing this for no shoes. I don't do this for none of that's goofy.
But you are at Louis every other day.
That's my bad.
He would be like, I'll be saying like, here we go, But then he'll be like, here. I'm like, okay.
But I think that's one of the benefits, though, like as far as that freedom and that flexibility, right? That you can go shop, do what you want to do, even though that's not a priority. It's not a priority, right?
But you can do it.
Why.
You got to treat yourself. I tell her all the time, I say, just, you don't have, like every day, and it's a proven fact. It's a proven fact, and it's documented. You guys got to look it up. I forget who says this, but I actually read it. If you treat yourself to one thing, if you walk in the house every single day of your life with a bag, whether it's an orange, whether it's a lip gloss, it's just the fact that you treated yourself and you could patch it. It's gratitude for yourself, and it boosts your self-esteem up that much more. A lot of people I see people with millions of dollars, miserable.
Absolutely.
Because they always hold on.
Everything.
You don't have, like, how could you receive anything with a closed fist?
Absolutely.
When you open your hand up, that's when you receive everything. So the more stuff that you dish out, the more that you're going to receive it. And that's what I believe in. So that's just how I live. That's my lifestyle.
That's what's up. I love that concept. I know when we spoke the other day, I knew that we was going to have a good show. Yeah, I just love the mindset. I love the concept. So now we speaking about family and building a family business. And like, for one, you guys still don't look like truckers regardless. All right. But how do you guys go about like the business planning of it? Because, you're talking about You have to sit down. You have your son with you. You guys been traveling, right?
Yeah.
On business. So how do those business meetings go? How do you even separate personal life from business life when you're together working?
You don't.
I mean, it gets tiring. Even I'll get a call from like our company, and I'll be like, it's 10 o'clock. Who's calling me? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to answer, but I'm just so like, I'm like, okay, I answer. And he even tells me like, you have to like, business
boundaries.
hours are business hours.
You got to make yourself a little bit more exclusive. If you answer your phone 24/7, that's just what people are going to get used to. And like me, I feel like if you set hours, and I'm not saying that, I mean, everybody says I'm 24 hours, I'm a hustler. That's cool. That's great. But I think it makes you a little bit more exclusive when you give yourself a time barrier towards other people. It makes you less approachable, but more wanted.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It builds the desire.
It builds that desire.
Unless it's that $1 million deal, like, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's how I look at it.
Hey, that's what I love
we
about
have
it,
different points, but like he still supports me. He'll be like, you didn't listen anyway. But I'll be like, but babe, this is a good deal. He'll be like, all right, well, it's always
That's
a
how
pro
I
and
am.
a con.
Awesome.
Like,
I'm always thinking it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
So-
Me.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, babe, we gotta separate business from personal. I'm like,
Yeah.
how?
But when that area code pop up 407, and it's the same time where you at, so that don't get answered at all. What's the area code, 407 out here?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I guess in my mind, I'm like, if they're calling at this time, it's important. And then usually it'll be like a question like, so how much was your insurance? I'm like,
People don't.
So please call tomorrow at 10 a.m.
It's important to somebody, but
Yeah.
it's just not important to us. I feel like some things, need to be talked about in business hours.
Understandable.
Yeah, and then we still bring, because we do homeschool our child, so he's always with us. So even now, he's in the other room. So we're teaching him the entrepreneur way of life. So he learns, like, even before we come, we tell him, like, he's 6. We tell him, Julian, we are going to a podcast. We're going to be talking about this. And he was even going over some questions. Like, we're teaching him,
That's dope.
this is a way of life. And, this is a new, at least for our family.
Yes.
And we want to show him that there's more, to this world than just a textbook. Textbooks are great, but we want to show him.
He can reach. We're trying to make him reach other boundaries that we were scared to take. Like granted, we've taken calculated risk and some just irresponsible risk as well. But we're trying to at a later age, we're trying to show him at his age it's okay. It's okay to dive off the end of the deep end. It's okay to dive off into the deep end. You don't need your floaties all the time.
That's
okay.
dope. So between you guys are the ones doing the teaching for the homeschool.
Yes. Yeah. And then there's a program like at school, because he can go once a week. And then basically in LA, it's optional. You can go once a week to the school. So when we are there, he goes. And then once a week in Los Angeles as well, the homeschoolers meet together for like a field trip, whether it's the park, a museum, to Paris.
Wow.
Right. And you just meet. So you still, a lot of people, even our parents are talking about, what about the social skills? But it's 2020. Like everything is, it's either virtual or he's still, in karate and baseball. Piano. He's still doing everything. He's still very social. And he's not even socially awkward. People think that he's the most outgoing kid ever. So
yeah, he articulates himself very well.
Yes.
So I have a quick question. So in regards to husband and wife team, right? As far as the challenges when you guys originally met till today, like in business, has there been any challenges when it comes to business, work, personal, husband and wife? And what would you say they are?
I'm gonna tell you something. If we didn't have a business together, it'd be the same thing. You're gonna fight. You're gonna argue. You're gonna have your differences. You're gonna have to set boundaries. But you also have to understand each other. I personally say that our marriage is a business.
Good
Thank
Lord.
you. Look, I rest my case. You have to say no more.
Look, a lot of people don't agree with that. But when we first met as well, like even as us in business and marriage as well, that's one of the things that he said to me. This marriage is a business. And I didn't understand it at first. I didn't.
A lot of people have this analogy that a marriage is just a piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Money is a piece of paper, right?
Absolutely.
And people go to work for that every day.
Yeah.
So why can't you work for your marriage?
I 100% agree. So so for my philosophy, when we're talking about marriage being a business, right? I mean, from day one, the way I looked at it is everything around the marriage is associated with investing.
Right.
Right? So how can you invest all around the marriage, but the marriage not be included?
Right. It's impossible.
Yeah, because marriage is a separate entity. It's you, your wife, and the marriage is right there in the middle. And if you don't put in, a marriage is a pot.
It's a pot,
and if
right?
you don't put, if each entity out of that marriage does not put anything in that pot, what's going to happen?
What you see most marriages doing. You know, the statistics are
bankrupt.
horrible.
They go bankrupt.
They go bankrupt, right? If you go into the bank, that's one analogy I like to use. When you go into the bank and all you're doing is making withdrawals, I don't care what their relationship was when you establish that account. Sooner or later, you're going to get that pink slip.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I look at marriage the same way. She didn't like that concept, but I said, this is investment. You know, for me, if I go into a business, I don't have a plan B or a plan C. I'm all in on plan A.
That's what he was when we were. He was
I
saying
just said the same thing, man. I said, how would you feel if a wife, she's a plan A? Would you be acceptable to have a plan B and plan C for your husband? No. No side chicks, right?
Absolutely
so you always focus on plan A. It's no other, there ain't no, like, and listen, even if there was a plan B or plan C, you're always going to what? Resort back to plan A.
Back to plan A.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when you think of marriage, what's the first thing you think of? Stability, right?
Yes.
When you meet a couple, like no matter what, when we meet other married like friends or couples, we think, wow, like it's because it's not easy at all. You're two different people.
Yeah.
People forget when you get married. A lot of people, you're two totally different people. Just because you're married, it doesn't mean you become one.
Right.
It doesn't mean I have to go love going to the shooting range or he has to love watching love movies. You know, people think like you have to. People force it on each other, and that's where like the problem lies.
That's where the problem lies.
Right? Because you're two different people, and you just have to make it work and have the same goal, and that's how it works.
You just gotta be creative.
Question. So how long have you guys been married?
Shit, I don't know.
Great. So we've been together 7 years.
Okay.
And this is 3 years. No,
Damn
wait.
it. How long have you been married?
Married.
3.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
16, 17, 18, 19. 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. So
Wow.
And you guys met what, like 7 years? You said?
Yeah. We didn't meet 7 years. We've been like officially dating 7 years.
7 years.
Together. We've been together for 7 years, and
Yes.
we've been married for
4
three and a
years.
half, 4 years. Maybe.
Yeah. 4 years in March.
4 years in March. Hey, if you say
Wow.
4.
What about you guys?
It's been 10
no, hold
years.
on. We've
See,
been
you have to
together
think
for
about it.
11
You do
years.
have to
Oh,
think
wow.
about it,
We've been
yeah.
together for 11 years. We've been married for 4
4
years.
years.
In March.
Oh, same with us.
In March?
Yeah,
March 2nd.
March 13th.
Are you serious?
Yes.
March 2nd. We did
On my niece's birthday.
a courthouse wedding in Beverly Hills, and then we did a
Destination wedding.
destination wedding in April in Jamaica.
Okay.
Wow.
So we did
stopped
the
at
first part.
courthouse.
We did the courthouse marriage.
I mean,
We're pro
hey.
courthouse marriage.
Yeah.
Pro courthouse marriage. Get
Yeah.
it done. Listen, to all them single dudes out there that's selling their wife or fiance is a dream. Listen, just go to the courthouse. How much does it cost, baby? $90?
$90
$90
in LA.
Listen, go to the courthouse. Let's not play games.
Yeah.
There ain't no playing games. There ain't no waiting till
Absolutely.
2 years. I'm trying to save the bag. No. Take that $90 that you was going to eat steak dinner with her that night and just go to the courthouse.
Go
Get
to
it
the
done
courthouse.
with.
Yeah.
Solves
A
everything.
lot of these men aren't gonna like this.
They ain't gotta like it, but they gonna respect it.
They gonna
Right.
respect it. You know, I made a post about this, like, I don't know, like a week ago, right? And inbox blew up. So a lot of course, the women want the marriages. The men was in the inbox. A lot of them didn't want to comment because I don't know the situation.
Right.
But they didn't want to comment on the page. But anyhow,
About the wedding.
about the wedding. But most men are for the courthouse. It's the women who wants the big wedding. So for us, I had to sell it on her. For one, the courthouse would work, but it was more so, again, an extension of the investment because I wanted to start building a foundation for us with investing. I said, okay, we started doing the budget for the wedding.
We started doing the budget, right? And then
And
we saw like $20,000, $30,000
And so,
price tag.
I'm a very honest person. I'm very transparent, honest person, right? So I started going down the list. I said, I love them, but after the wedding, I won't see them again. No, I'm not spending that money on them.
$100 a plate per person.
That's the way we
Yes.
that's the way we broke it down. That's the way we felt about it.
Really?
Oh, definitely. Because I mean, I'm not paying to show somebody that we don't even really deal with in that realm. Like, I'd rather just throw it in the air and say, listen, we're gonna be getting married over here.
That's what we did.
If you come, you come, and it's lo and behold, we didn't even expect as many people. I'm talking about, I had homeboys call me like, "Gee, where you at?" And I'm like, I'm in Jamaica. Oh man, I just flew in. I'm coming. I'm like,
so it was perfect. It was a trip.
Yeah.
And it was a honeymoon all in one. And, you know, close friends, like 40 people showed up. It was perfect. And it was up on them because their ticket was on them. And then we had, like, you know, the wedding that.
We just provided everything else.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was nice.
It was dope.
So 10 years, though, I want to do, like, the wedding of my dreams. So we're really on it,
like the 10-year anniversary.
Well, we was looking at 5.
Yeah.
But then, you know, we're still
working on.
We're still debating,
stuff.
you know.
Yeah.
We're still debating some stuff. We may move it back to 10, but I don't know any day now. But we'll be cool. But I'm still on the same stuff. Like,
Right.
It's gonna be a destination. It's not gonna be, you know, the problem I had that, you know, some people, some outside influences start giving their input on who's going to be at the wedding. Like, I don't know them. We don't know
Right.
them. Like, no.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going for that.
It's true.
So outside of that, like outside the wedding part, like, how do you guys like keep the connection for us where you don't get too drunk, like drug off into the business world? And like, so how do you keep that?
Travel.
Travel a lot.
We travel a lot. Like, even now, we've been here a month, but business is still rolling. Like, the trucks are still going. I mean, we'll get calls here and there like, oh, a tire, the transmission, or, you know, but the normal stuff.
That we used to stress out about that we actually built a callus over. Like, there's so many things that would have, like in the beginning, was tearing us
oh my God,
apart.
freak out, sleepless nights.
Out.
You know, new businesses.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To know that, like, we're used, like, now if we wake up to, it's a $5,000 bill, like, we're like, all right. Remember the first year? Imagine first year, what? A $5,000?
What the heck did he do?
Right. And now it's like, all right, just deal with, like, at this
now.
point, it's like, you have to deal with it. Why?
Right.
Like, there's no point in stressing out. It has to get fixed. I'm the one that stresses out. And he was like, relax.
Same.
I'm like, you know, like when the credit card bills come, I'm like, babe. Like, you know, freaking
I don't even
out.
show her the bills. I don't show her the
He doesn't
credit
show
card
me the
bills.
bills. 'Cause I would freak out.
So her first year with us, as like
officially
in the business, like last year, right? It was tough on her. It was tough on her, and I'm not an easygoing guy when it comes to business. I'm cool, but when it comes to business, it's different.
Right.
And so I was tough on her, but I was trying to help her stretch and help her grow into where I needed her to be, like mentally. Correct. Because at the same time in this business, as much as a people's person business, you got to have thick skin.
Right.
Because a lot of people are going to disappoint you. You're going to establish relationships for them to be broken, right? And then some people you'll start to see after you like grow into the business, like a lot of the things that you were stressing about over an individual, like it was just because of the business deal. They're actually good people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
And
you're
so
right.
like that part, like she's grown so much. So I know where she is like right now mentally. I know what she had to go through. How was that growing part for you guys? Like, how was that? Was it like tough, like mentally? And
I'm emotional. He'll tell me because you know what it is? I could see you're a good person too. Yeah. So when you're naturally like a good person and you always want to make sure like your friends or your even coworkers, like you look out and then they turn around and do something to you. Like, you're like, oh my God, like I don't understand why.
Right.
I'll even cry. He'll be like, what's wrong? And I'll just be like, it's too much. I don't understand.
Like, suck it up.
Yeah.
Don't let them people take over. Don't let them take
I'll be like, I don't understand. Like, I've never done anything to you. Like, why are you being?
It's nothing to even question. They did it. It's done. And now you got to deal with it.
Yeah, just deal with it. You move on. But you sort of like, people's character from that point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like that might be a bit that might be just a friend you go out to dinner with, not a friend you bring to a business meeting. You have to put them in a certain realm, basically.
100%.
Yeah.
So now, as you guys were building the business, like your first year, was there a lot of tussles, battles, fights?
It's gonna be one tomorrow.
We lost a couple friends. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, what'd you say?
It's gonna be one tomorrow. That goes the territory.
But we did lose friends. We did have sleepless nights. We did argue. I mean, I remember one of the first times I booked him a job because with the hot shotting, you go on a load board. Like at 5 a.m. you would wake up. Well, see, like as a woman, like so if he's driving, I would wake up at 5 a.m. and book a load, and you would like bid on like
5 a.m.
Yeah, because that's when the jobs get dispatched.
Posted,
yeah, this is for hot shotting, not for dump trucks.
Okay.
So one day I booked him a job. I'm like, oh, this is a good job. Like, what was it, like $1,500?
She was looking at the money. She didn't care about nothing else. She was looking at the money.
I'm like, yes. And then I found a job coming back for him. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's like $3,000 in 2 days. And
Like $4,200.
Yeah, $4,200. But like after like fuel. $3,000.
About $3,000.
Yeah, and then we don't have to pay a driver, so I'm just booking him. I'm doing it from home. He's the one going. So mind you, he has to on a hot shot truck. It's a trailer attached to the pickup truck.
Okay.
Yeah,
gooseneck flatbed.
Yeah, he gets very technical. So. But mind you, I didn't know when he got here. He was like, "What did you book?" I'm like, "I don't know. What do you mean? What I book? I booked it like." It was foam, like
styrofoam.
Thin pieces of styrofoam.
Oh man, on a flatbed.
On a flatbed.
Ooh.
So, Sacramento takes how many hours?
I was going to San Francisco's San
LA,
Francisco to Stockton.
Hours?
It's supposed to take like 7 hours.
3 days.
It took me 3 days to get there.
He had to stop every hour because the foam was
blowing off.
I was driving
off.
through, if some people are familiar with the desert out there, like Palm Desert, Apple Valley, it's hot.
Yeah.
I'm driving down the highway. Thank God I had my cousin with me. I was driving down the highway and I was like, dang, dude, it's snowing out here. And I'm looking at the temperature.
Low.
The temperature says 102. And I'm like, dude, something ain't right. So I look in the side view mirror. The styrofoam is just breaking apart. Everybody's honking their horn. It was horrible.
And this is a load you have to deliver like good, or then they like ding you. It gets like a whole, the load.
Man.
But it got there, and then I don't know how he had to go buy tarps. He had to go it took him 3 days.
So were you upset about the fact that she booked it? Like, what was your response?
I wasn't mad at her.
Okay.
I was mad at the situation because it was still brand new, and I didn't know much about it. I just knew I wanted to make money.
Right.
And I could have, I wasn't prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come prepared. So when I hear like a lot of people coming to me talking about, how easy this industry is and they want to get into it, I know what I went through.
Gotcha.
So I did everything under the sun as far as what I shouldn't have done to what I should have done. And that's what I preach about to these people because they don't know what they getting themselves into. So
Gotcha.
that right there, that was probably one of the best learning experiences I had in this trucking industry was to be prepared.
Got you. So one of the themes of the podcast is defying the odds, right? And it's like creating your own lane. What do you guys feel like you've done in the trucking industry and building your business just to create your own lane for where you're positioned for success?
Branded ourselves.
Yeah.
Brand. Okay.
We made it cool too.
Right.
You know what?
It's a lifestyle.
You're right. You're right. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
And it's okay to work. It's cool. It's fine. People are
dope.
so embarrassed to work, especially in LA or I don't know, it's like they're embarrassed to have a job. Like, no, it's not okay. And a lot of, even like guys, we might know that they might have like came out of jail and they don't want to start from the beginning. They probably went in and was making money, right?
Yeah.
And then they come out and they don't want to make minimum. So they don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? So they probably resort to the same thing, go back in there. But hey, G makes it known that, he's never been to jail or anything, but he has, friends, that have been in that situation. And he's like, you could start a trucking business and
Never miss a beat. Just pick up where you left off.
Right, because you only get background checked if it's a driver. So if you're the owner, it doesn't matter. So let's say if we were hiring like drivers, it's up to us. We
equal opportunity employers.
So it's up to us to say, hey, no, like let's do a background check, and let's do a background check, but if he might not be for us, or if it's a charge that we'll say, okay, it's forgiven, like we could forgive it. Basically like that.
Anything, if we have control over it, it's a go. If we don't have control over it, there's nothing that we can do about it.
Yeah.
Simple.
It's just so many opportunities in this industry for everybody. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And I know for you, Shanti, like you like to focus on women in the trucking industry. So as far as taking that platform to the next level, what do you see, or where do you see yourself moving that platform within the next couple of years with women in trucking in general?
Yeah, I want to push it because, I mean, a lot of women, even like women you'd least expect, even in the industry, in the music industry, in acting, they've been contacting me saying, I love what you're doing. And it looks like it's like the money's definitely coming in. What's the word?
Lucrative.
Yeah, it's not only lucrative, but it's for sure. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely there because a lot of people have like the side jobs where it's not, it's like commission based or
Profitable.
Yeah, I can't think of the word. I'm sorry, but I mean they're just ready. They have children. A lot of them are single women. They want to. It's not enough right now to just make ends meet. Especially in our society right now, you need to make some good money to survive.
Yep,
especially with children. So my thing is, let me motivate these women. I mean, it's something that we're not used to, but it's not as hard as you think. Even if you don't want to drive, you could dispatch, you could broker, you can get a truck, hire a driver. It's not difficult. It's just not the norms for women.
Right.
So you don't think, as a woman, I'm going to start a trucking company. You might say, I'm going to open a nail salon or open a salon or a boutique. But the trucking is like a whole different level, and you just need to learn about it instead of just putting it to the side.
I like it. I love the fact that, you're motivating the women. There's a lot of women who look up to you for that, that I know of. Yeah, we have friends who, they look up to you. They
started following just based on the social media and the marketing that you guys are putting out there. So as far as the branding, you guys are doing a really good job.
Thank you. And I know you were asking about the workshop, and we kind of like got off topic, right?
Yes.
On Saturday. So when you were saying if someone wanted to start a trucking company or if they wanted to come to the workshop, question.
Either or. If somebody wanted to start a trucking company, and then if someone, let's say for instance, they're coming to the workshop, like what do they expect? And I know he did touch on that as far as what to get, as far as how to prepare.
Right.
But you could elaborate on just starting a trucking company.
Yeah. So we are Hoffman Transportation. We have our dump trucks, and then we added another business which is called Truck It Right.
Okay.
So basically, subsidiary. So as of right now, we focus on dump trucks. Eventually, like in the next couple months, we're gonna open the network to brokering, dispatching, and over the road. But right now, we're focusing on dump trucks because you could Google how to start it or try to get information and you can't find it. For some reason, it's like some secret world. I don't know why, but you have to go through it to understand the business. So basically we said, we started with a 6-week online course, learn at your own pace. Nice. And then we said, let's start doing workshops. So in the workshops, you come in, you meet us, you get 3 hours to literally pick our brain, ask us any questions, and we teach you. A lot of people are confused on whether they should do an LLC or corporation. So we have, a speaker come in and speak on like the business aspect.
Business structure.
Yes, because a lot of people don't know. Like we didn't really know which one to do at first.
Okay.
And then after that, you need to get a trucking authority, which are the numbers that you might see on the door. It'll say like DOT.
Yes.
Yeah, like those. So we speak on that, and then we talk about how you can get loads and, the importance of finding good drivers. Basically like an outline on how to do it because it's not online.
So let me ask you this. If somebody wanted to get into the trucking business, right, they don't have to be a truck driver. Isn't there other areas within the trucking business that they can really get into?
Yeah.
Like she said, brokerage.
Dispatching.
It's a whole.
Okay, so all those are different.
Even owning a dump truck and just hiring a driver. Like you could have trucks. You don't have to have your CDL. I mean, he suggests it just in case someone calls off.
I always suggest you perfect your craft, and you better certify yourself in anything that you do. You can't sell a house without a license, right?
Without a license, absolutely.
I mean, you can if you have, tons of money, but by the law.
Yeah, legally.
But legally,
Right.
you know what I mean? That's what we want to do. We want to teach the people the legalities of the industry and how to dot your I's and cross your T's.
You guys have it's 2020, started in 2016, so almost 4 years in the business, right?
Yeah.
What have you guys established as far as like your go-to like commandments, like 10 commandments per se?
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'll start with the first couple and then I'll let you know.
All right.
So, this is your number one. You always say this.
Oh, spend the money.
Spend the money.
Spend the money.
Okay.
Spend it. I just got finished talking to you guys about why I feel that you should spend the money is because it always comes back.
Absolutely.
You do it right the first time, you won't have to do it again. It becomes way more expensive the second time. So spend the money, get it over with, get it done with.
Does that justify you putting beat in the dump truck?
Yes, it does. Let me tell you why. Because, hold on, let me tell you why. I put music, I put TVs, I did all that stuff. Let me tell you why.
$1,000 chairs.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Let me tell you why. I'm pretty sure wherever you sit to conduct business, you want to be comfortable.
Absolutely.
That's my office. So I deserve. Now my other trucks, none of that. They're dope though. Don't get it twisted. They're very dope. But it's just the fact that I did that specific truck because it was my first venture. I was excited, and I wanted the contractors to know me. I wanted my name on that truck to be very well known and seen. So I did everything under the radar. When I used to pull up to certain jobs, I had the windows cracked. I turned it up a little bit so they could hear something, and just to get a vibe out of me. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I wasn't, I like Frank Sinatra and stuff like that. I like jazz, so I'm setting the vibe. I'm setting the vibe when I get there and making my presence be known. So that's why I did half of the stuff that I did, and it got us it was debate.
Our trucks are clean, so people when they see it go by, they know that's Hoffman.
Put it like this: my very first job in the dump truck industry, I made $4,000 cash
one day.
In one day.
Yeah, I think more people gonna be getting into the dump truck business.
I can't make this up. I got this all documented.
And then they called him back because he comes clean.
They like to
his
see
truck
it
because they want to have nice trucks. Like if you're doing a new construction homes or if you're doing highway work, you want to see nice stuff. So they love it.
You don't want like if I'm doing a residential home, that you don't want to have the neighbors, and this has happened. You don't want to have the neighbors calling the city for leaving dirt behind, looking dirty, raggedy, oil leaks. You don't want none of that. Because it puts a bad name on you.
And you don't need a 2020. You could have a 2005 and still keep it clean,
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Presentable.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so that's one. Spend the money.
Okay. Surround yourself with the right people. Okay. That's so important. Because if you surround yourself with people that maybe I'm not going to even say that aren't on the same level, but just their mindset is different, they're going to think you're bragging every time you do something. You pull up in a nice car. Oh, they're bragging. Oh, who do they think they are? When it's just normal,
Yeah. So speaking of cars, let's put a thumbtack right there. I don't know, but I've seen on Instagram there's a nice collection.
Tell them how many old schools you got.
I have over 30 classic cars.
Jesus.
I have motorcycles, Harley Davidsons. I have everything you think of. I have a whole fleet.
He's gonna start revamping it. He has my favorite one is the one from with the right.
The Hangover. I have a '63 right-hand drive convertible Mercedes.
The one from Hangover.
The one from the movie Hangover.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Wow.
Yeah, I have that.
And the Bel Air.
Yeah, 57 Bel Air.
That's my fave too. But he needs to.
Lowriders.
We need to revamp them, because they've been sitting.
Well, I need to just clean them up a little bit.
So where do you keep all these cars?
I got car storage. I got a carport.
A carport.
Yeah.
Just for the cars.
Just for the car. My dad.
Spend the money.
Spend the money. See, but let's get it
He's gonna make it clear.
I'm gonna make it clear because I don't like faking and none of that stuff. I've inherited. I was raised like this.
Okay.
Now I've added on a lot of stuff to our collection, but I was raised like this. My parents paid away.
I got you.
Okay.
So it's handed down.
So we gonna make it real clear.
Yeah. We didn't
before people be sitting in front of my house with all type of weapons trying to do something. No, look, I'm a trust fund kid. Okay.
But his father left him all these cars, and he added a ton of cars as well.
Yeah.
But that's his prized possession. Those.
My class. Yeah. That's where the money's at. But to top it off, other than that, what we drive on a daily basis. We have brand new platinum Cadillac Escalades. That's
the S550.
S550 Mercedes.
My new car, I just got a Bentley.
Bentayga.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Some other stuff too.
Yeah, we got, well, we don't want them pulling up, but we got good stuff. If you follow us.
Yes, we follow.
We still got, our safety to worry about.
Absolutely. Safety comes first, always.
Right.
Okay, you can carry on. I just wanted to.
We got some exotics. We got some nice cars, and it's with the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I would
for
say,
the lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's what we sell. We still selling. We still marketing. We still branding. People don't realize that. They don't know that. They don't see it that way. Some of the areas that we grew up in, they have a certain mentality, and they can't change it because it's already been like scrambled up by certain music videos and certain social media posts. So it's no coming back for a lot of people. But for the ones that do know why we do what we do, we use it to write off our taxes too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's another. The more money you make, it's like the taxes are higher. Real. So, granted, now that you're in business, you realize I don't care about making money back. I want to pay. You know what I'm saying? Because the more you pay, the more you can get a loan. You can get more expensive houses. People don't understand that. They're waiting. They're like, oh, I got to get money. I don't care. I want to pay, but I still want to have my nice cars, and at least that'll deduct some of the payments.
With the cars that you have in the storage, right? I know we was talking about shipping cars. You don't have to worry about the storage fee. You can ship whatever the Bentley. You can keep them at our house. You can ship one. It'll be good storage. We'll take good care of it. We'll put it open for high end luxury leases. You know what I mean? We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
We gonna make it work.
So let's see, number 3, we always want to learn something new every day. Every day. So we never stop learning, whether it's reading or people giving us advice. There's people that have been in the game way longer, and they'll be like, hey, heads up, you should do this, or, try that, or use this broker. We're always learning, and we love
learners.
It. Yes.
Life learners.
Okay.
Marketing,
and
networking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my biggest thing, some people may or may not like it, but if I see, let's say, another trucking coach, right? Mm-hmm. And they're doing their thing, I always want to collab. Like, I'm not going to hate on you. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I'll reach out and I'll say, hey, we should do this together, because you know what? You have your following, I have my following. We could take it to the next level.
Right.
So with me, it's always networking. I always want to, hey, I'm not a hater. If you're not, let's build. It's a whole legacy. There's billions of people out here.
That's what it's about.
Even on social media, you've only reached how many people, like, compared to that other world out there.
That's what corporations is built on, is numerous entities inside of that realm supporting something.
Yes.
And getting financial gain from that. So why not? Why can't everybody? Why everybody have to be single-handedly have to do it by themselves? I get it. I know you want to be patted on your back. I understand that, but it's a bigger idea. It's a bigger spectrum out there that that we have to take advantage of, and you can't do it by yourself.
No, if you want more
100% agree.
Views but with that being said, we do have an event in Los Angeles, and I've reached out to. I don't know if you've heard of Hood Estates. They teach trucking over the road. There's the Compass Circle. They're based out of Atlanta. There's Truck and Hustle. They're a podcast for trucking.
Okay.
Shout out to Truck and Hustle.
Yeah, shout out to Truck and Hustle.
So there's whole world.
Yeah, it's literally like there's I could go on. Rush Peterbilt is sponsoring it. I have liquor sponsors. I have basically all the big popular trucking coaches or companies that are going to be in one room and networking and just having fun. And you're going to see these people in suits, something different. They're not going to be in the Pendletons.
Yeah,
this is in Los Angeles?
Los Angeles.
When is the event?
March 14th. So I hope to see you guys there. Oh, hopefully their anniversary. You can do your anniversry there.
Do your anniversary at the gala. Come on.
Right. You can do,
We may have to come out.
So I want it. People are gonna see trucking in a different light. Like, I really want people to understand that it's dope. Like, yes. And like we're in Orlando, and we have trucks working everywhere, and we're not there.
So you have trucks working here in Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so y'all really expanding the territory.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're putting one in Miami, and then we have them working in LA, and we're just and look, we're here. We're still me, my husband, our son, we're in Orlando at your podcast and we're making money still.
Making money.
Exactly.
You know,
Lovely.
That's this financial freedom. Like, I'm not worried about, oh my God, the bills are due. What I'm worried about is, what are we doing for Valentine's Day? Are we going to Bali? Like, that's what I'm worried about. Like, when you can be like,
and I'm worried about answering.
but I'm saying, like, we're like right now we're at our space where we're comfortable, because not only do we have the trucking, I'm in real estate as well. I just opened an office in Beverly Hills.
In Beverly Hills.
Yes, and
Nice.
he still is a longshoreman. So are you guys familiar with what that is?
Yes, on the yard. On the boat
import and
yard, right?
export.
Yeah, import, export.
Okay.
So that's an
discharging.
they're making like 60 to 90 an hour. The benefits are great. So it's like we have other sources of income. And then we came out with the beard oil because I didn't know what to get him for Christmas. I said, what do I get somebody that has everything for Christmas? So I got him another business.
Wow.
Beard oil. So he got a
Beard oil.
box of oils, his favorite, all his favorite ingredients.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I mean, it's like,
That's dope, man. What y'all got is dope.
Really like.
Yeah,
I mean,
dope.
this
love
is-
it.
inspirational.
this is like, I feel, thank you so much, because
that's awesome.
one business has to fund the other business.
Right.
And I do want to make this clear when it comes to dump trucks, that if you're going to start a business in dump trucks, we like to tell everybody, dump trucks is a little bit different than over the road, because with dump trucks, sometimes you won't get paid 30 to 60 to 90 days. So it's a business you should have overhead in. So that's why we like to
Gotcha.
have other sources of income coming in.
Correct.
So that way it funds that business, and then when the
forward.
check comes, it's like it's there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
okay.
Well, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. We running out of time.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
thou shall develop a personal relationship with bankers.
Yeah, with your
I
banker.
love
Yeah.
that.
Banker.
I love that. That's on my commandments.
Yeah. When you walk in there, make sure the manager knows you.
Knows you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I made a post about the fear factor, right? And there's a lot of people who they live their life by fear, right? And the concept behind the whole fear factor is that, you know, you're imprisoning yourself in a free world, right? Because every day when you go out, you set your goals or what you want to accomplish, all those goals are set up along the lines of things that you're comfortable doing, right? So you're limiting yourself for all those things, that fear that you're fearful of and you're scared of. You're limiting your life limits.
True.
And the answer to it, because everybody always be looking for the secret sauce, right? The secret to success. And it's right there in front of them. It's right there in the mirror. It's you, you know, and it's like about not being fearful. So when I speak on that, I know a lot of people who never go into the bank because they don't want to talk to people. They're scared to talk to people. Say, go through the bank, do the drive-through. I always make it my business that I go in the bank, and they always tell me, hey, you know you can go through the drive-through. I say, yes, I know, but the manager is not in the drive-through.
Correct.
Right.
You know, I want people, and just before this podcast, my banker called me because she found me on social media, right? So that's a whole nother story. But
I do want to say, I know we're cutting short, but I do want to say how I found, like, when we came here, we were looking at, we knew a few agents, sorry friends. But I know, sorry for the ones that are listening. But you know how that goes.
Life.
Anyways, whatever. So I love you guys still. I support you, but it is what it is. But anyways, I loved your marketing. And I said, you know, when we were looking at these homes in Reunion, shout out to Emmett Combs Realty.
Thank you.
We contacted them and we said, you know what, we're interested in making an investment because it's great. And literally in one day, the same day, Miss Combs sent me emails of homes, and the next day you guys made an appointment. We went to go look. Yes. And, you know, now it's just the next step, and we're just so blessed we met you.